Nah. Yeah, buddy. What going on? Kobe Turner is nasty. Better than Logan Hall. Kobe Turner, boy. I'm just saying. What going on? What is going on with Logan Hall, man? Why can't we get production from our D line like the Rams? Anyway, what's going on, everybody? BucosLocker. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos. Don't forget, don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on this channel. Yeah, the Bucks got a test coming up. They got a test now. I don't want to hit. Come on in. We talking about the them damn Chargers. We talking about them damn Chargers now. I want to know what's happening. The Rams and 49ers game, the NFC West is an interesting division because they all tight. Cardinals, Rams, 49ers and the Seahawks are 8-5, 8-6. I'm sorry. I think 8-5. Yeah, 8-5. It's a tight division. That's a sign of a very competitive, very good division. They're pretty much a solid division because if you look at good spin move. If you look at the 49ers, the 49ers missed their window to win a Super Bowl. They could have won a couple Super Bowls, but this is what happens when you don't capitalize on the window. The Bucks are the Bucks in their Super Bowl window? What's up, Sal? Brent, Daniel Berry Sports. It's a late conversation tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about the Chargers game. I don't really do too many preview videos no more, but it's okay. We're gonna get right to it, right? DP Bucks, what's up, man? We got this fake Troy Polamalu, Sports Guru 93. What's up, man? Styles, what's up, man? Brian Gamble. You know what I'm saying? You just think, come on, Demarcus Roberts, you got to block that dude. This fake wannabe Troy Polamalu. For real though. For real though. Woo! Do I feel good? Yeah. I mean, the Bucks gonna have to play real. I mean, they're gonna have to play their best game. They can't play. They can't play like they did against the Panthers, the Raiders, and they're gonna have to play like they did against the Giants. But remember, the Chargers are a much better team than what we've played the last several weeks. The Bucks have gotten away with a really soft schedule. The Bucks have gotten away with a real soft schedule, and hopefully playing these soft teams have not gotten them with fake confidence. Because you can play bad teams and think you're really like that, but when you play somebody really good, you get shut down and you get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with playing bad teams. That's why you kind of want to be good. You want to beat the good teams and you want to beat bad teams. You don't want to just beat bad teams, especially on the back end of the season. Look, the Bucks have been competitive. They beat the Lions, they beat the Eagles, they've been in some close games, but close is not going to be always. It's not gonna get you wins, right? And you know, and I can only go by what the Bucks have done lately. The Bucks have played three bad teams, and they're 3-0. And we're about to find out if these wins. We're going to find out if these three wins were confident builders for the Bucks, because the Bucks are going against a team that is leaps and bounds better than the Raiders, leaps and bounds better than the Panthers, leaps and bounds better than the Giants. It's Jim Harbaugh, 10 times better than Todd Bowles. So this ain't going to be no walkthrough. That's the problem. And I circled this game like a couple weeks ago. I circled this game. I was like, the Chargers, man, they look tough. They got a top 10 defense. You know what I'm saying? Top 10 defense. And we've seen this. Baker Mayfield, he'll give us some good moments. But the question is you got to deliver. We're going to go through these stats real quick for the Chargers defense. Chargers offense is not super explosive. They don't have any great receivers. They're steady offense. And we're going to see. We're definitely going to see. I think the Bucks defense will be fine against the Chargers offense. My thing is, it's just about the Bucks defense, really. I think if they can just handle the Chargers offense, and the Chargers offense is not really good. I mean, I don't think they're like hyper explosive, like super crazy good. They're solid. They run the ball with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. They got two really good tackles. So I don't have any hopes for the outside pass rush with Rashad Slater and Joe Alt. Good luck trying to get around those two tackles. Good luck, Bucks pass rush. Anthony Nelson, Yaya Diaby. If Tryon Soinka plays, Bucks had 19 guys on the injury report. And I'm not really counting on the pass rush on the outside. And I'm just keeping it real because I'm giving up hope on the Bucks outside pass rush. I like Yaya Diaby, but he's just lacking some air. He's lacking some juice. Lacking some juice. And then they do have Zion Johnson, the left guard. He's pretty good too. So the Chargers O-line has actually played pretty decent this season. So this is not one of them O-lines where the Bucks can just dominate like they did against the Giants and they did against the Raiders. Well, the Bucks pass rush didn't do much against the Raiders either, really, to be honest with you. And that's my concern. Getting deep into the season, teams know what you're gonna do. And the Bucks pass rush, nobody's scared of the Bucks pass rush. The Raiders got Colton Miller, left tackle. He's pretty good. Top 10 left, top 15 left tackle. And the Bucks outside pass rush did absolutely nothing. And then the interior, Kalaji Clancy and Vita was pretty much quiet last week. They didn't really have a huge game. So, and I'm going to keep beating this upside the head. But there's nothing the Bucks can do right now There's nothing the Bucs can do right now with the outside pass rush. So if anybody got any like, oh, the Bucs outside pass rush is really like that, wake up. Wake the hell up. And I like Yaya, Diaby, but it's just what it is. You know, Kalijah got what, 5, 6 sacks. Vita got 6. You know, and that's from our guys in interior wise. And then Kalijah Clancy lines up down the field. But I watched a lot of him this season. He has his moments. He has his really good moments. He has a pretty good motor. He has a high floor, a low ceiling. Yaya against solid O lines can get washed quite a bit because he's small. So teams can block Kalijah Clancy pretty easily if it's not a obvious passing situation. If it's an obvious passing situation, Kalijah Clancy tends to kind of get something going. But when there's no real, like, you don't know what the team's going to do, he tends to get washed. Like because if they get their hands on Kalijah Clancy, he tends to get stuck. And then with Yaya Diaby, he is very limited. And, you know, Anthony Nelson, he'll give you some plays here and there, but you can't really ask nothing for him. You know, and our depth is not good at all. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. And, you know, Justin Herbert, pretty good quarterback, right? But we're going to need some sort of pass rush. And I just don't see the Bucs outside pass rushers doing anything against Joe Alt and Rashad Slater. Rashad Slater, top 7 tackle, top 10 left tackle, top 12 left tackle. Joe Alt, you could tell he's going to be really good long term. So just not sure what the Bucs going to do on the outside. You know, and it's just frustrating to watch. And I watch this, and I watch a lot of football. And I watch other D lines get pressure with 4 guys. 49ers D line like 8 deep, 6 deep, 7 deep. The Rams D line like 6, 7, 8 deep. Why can't we get our D line like that? Why can't we have a 5, 6, 7 man D line? I just want to know, Jason, like, why can't we get our D line corrected? Why can't we have a D line like the Rams? A D line like the 49ers, Eagles? Everybody's so quick to jump on offense, but I can't let y'all skip over the D line like that. I can't let y'all do that. I can't let you do that. In order for the Bucs to go far, we got to get a D line. And this is why we're not going to the NFC Championship. We're not going to the Super Bowl no time soon. Until the Bucs get that D line situated, we're not going anywhere. And some of y'all don't want to hear it, but this is the truth. And then this game will kind of tell you, like, our D line is just not good enough. And then, you know, with the Bucs secondary, with Winfield Jr. out for several weeks, if you don't get no pressure, you're going to get shredded. You're going to get shredded. Like, the Chargers don't have any great. They got Quentin Johnson, Josh Palmer. You know, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnson, Ladley McConkey. You know, not crazy, but if Justin Herbert got time, he gonna eat you up. But the Chargers are built on run the ball first. See, Jim Harbaugh is not letting Justin Herbert chuck the ball around like that. He got Justin Herbert playing efficient football. One interception, man. This is what happens when you have a run game. When you have a good run game, you don't have to have your quarterback chuck the ball around 50 million times. You know, until the Bucks get that D line situated, we have a ceiling, folks. That's my point. And we saw this in multiple games. This is the reason why the Bucks are 7-6. And the D line is one of the reasons why. How many times we're gonna look at our D line, whether we win the game or not, in some of these moments during the game, and be like, man, we gotta get some pressure, man. If the Raiders had a better quarterback, that's a different ballgame. Kobe Turner is leaps and bounds better than Logan Hall. Why can't we get a Kobe Turner? Why can't we get a Kobe Turner? Why can't we get a Kobe Turner? Why can't we get a Braden Frisk? A Jared Versey? Why can't we get those guys? A Brian Young? We just need more. We just need more on the D line. Because how many times we're gonna keep watching this D line not get a lot of pressure? How many times Todd Bowles got to keep blitzing a million and one times? You know, Todd Bowles is just got to keep blitzing because we can't get no pressure. Simulated blitzes all the time on third and Bowles, he's gonna send a blitz. We know that. That's not good enough. And Todd Bowles' defense can be pretty good at times, but it's just when that defense is off, man, it's off, and it's been off for a while. So let me read you some of these stats, man. We're gonna say, like, you got the numbers and then you got tape. The numbers and tape match. You know, it's almost like when you watch the tape, the numbers pretty much lines up exactly what we see. And then just keeping it real, folks. Don't get mad at me. Just look at the tape. Just look at the tape. The numbers and tape line up. The Bucks defense allows 23 points a game, 23.8 points a game, 22nd in the NFL in allowing points. Yards per game, they give up 368 yards a game, 28th in the NFL. It's a reason why the Bucks are 7-6, and the defense is a big reason. Yards per play, they give up 5.6 yards per play, 22nd in the NFL, folks. The Bucks are pretty good on third down defense. 41%, 41.92%, 23rd in NFL. Fourth down, they give up 70% on the fourth downs. That's 29th in the NFL. Red zone defense, the Bucks give up touchdowns 51% of the time. 10th in the NFL. The Bucks offense is complete opposite. Think about that, folks. We're so heavy offensively. Jason Light forgot about the defense, really. In particular, the D line. The offense is in top. The offense has the Bucks has a top 10 offense in multiple categories, except for fourth down conversion. They're 13th in fourth down conversion. The Bucks are 13th in fourth down conversion. Everything else is in the top 10. Everything else, passing, rushing, points per play, yards per play, third down conversion, second in the NFL on third downs. Red zone TDs, fourth in the NFL. TDs a game, three TDs a game. That's fifth in the NFL. The defense is the complete opposite. It's a reason why we're 7-6. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any excuses for Todd Bowles. It's pathetic. And I got to blame Jason Light on that too. It's a reason why the Bucks are 7-6. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. We're 7-6. That's exactly what we are. Right, one game above one game above 500. Todd Bowles is 24-23 as the head coach of the Bucks. Shout out to, just Todd Bowles, man, 24 and 23 as the head coach. No matter how you spin it, Todd Bowles' his scheme is outdated. Scheme is outdated. The scheme is outdated, folks. Liam Cohen has brought a fresh scheme to the Bucs. But Todd Bowles' scheme is old and it's played out and it's outdated. It's outdated as a 3-3-5. Does anybody understand what the 3-3-5 is doing defense in the college? Where Rich Rodriguez used to run that defense. The Air Force used to run that defense. The 3-3-5. You can't run that now. You can't run a 3-3-5. Can't do it. The 3-3-5 defense. Does anybody remember that? You can't run that defense anymore in college. You'll get shredded. In the NFL, you cannot be blitz heavy without a D line. You can't do that. And it's so bad with the Bucs now. The Bucs can't even blitz like that no more. Even when they don't blitz, it's pretty bad because they don't have a pass rush. So it's like you get bit twice. So when you used to blitz, you used to get burnt. And then when you don't blitz and play zone or man, you get burnt. I'm just saying, folks. A lot of it to do with the personnel too. The NFL is starting to get back to running the ball. So if Todd Bowles' defense is strictly pressure, high pressure, blitzing on third downs, and if you don't have the personnel, then what are you doing? Maybe if Todd Bowles had better personnel, the defense can work a lot better. He just needs better D linemen. I think if the Todd Bowles had better D linemen, his scheme will work because that means sometimes he can just get there with four. Can you imagine if Todd Bowles defense can get there with four guys? That means the blitz will be highly effective. That's why when the Bucs blitz, that's why a lot of big plays happen. And we don't have the personnel. But he continues to use his scheme. This is not a plug and play scheme, folks. You got to have the personnel. The Bucs defense, right? The opponents passes the ball on the Bucs defense 61.7% of the time. 28 in the NFL. That means 61% of the time teams are throwing the ball on the Bucs. Opponents completion percentage 67%. Whoa, but it's a scheme though. Don't want to hear it. Yards per pass play 7.2. Opponents throw the ball 37 times a game against us. Passing yards allowed 253 yards per game, 30th in the NFL. Sack percentage 20th in the NFL. Sack percentage. And the percentage is even lower when you just count the D linemen. Opponents throw the ball 37 times a game against us, 31st in the NFL. The Bucks defense is good in certain moments, certain pockets, but not consistent enough. They're not good enough. Right? So yep, that's the Bucks for you folks. They're too one-sided. They're not balanced enough. They're balanced on offense, but they're not balanced as a team. We literally only got two guys that can rush the passer consistently, or to a degree. Vita and Kalijah Clancy. Outside of that, we ain't got no pass rusher. It's just what it is, folks. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, when your nose tackle is the leading sack guy on your team, that's not cool, man. Unless now if Vita was like a Jeffrey Simmons or Aaron Donald type guy, yeah. But he's a 340-pound guy. That's not his repertoire. And Vita sacks come in like randoms. Vita sacks are like randomish. Like, we're in week we're going in week 14. He got 6 sacks. That's good for a nose tackle. That's what he is. He's a nose tackle. So I can't even Vita has exceeded expectations as far as in pass rushing. That's not even his repertoire. Him getting 6 sacks, that's great high level play for Vita. But as the impact of the sacks in 13 weeks, his impact with his 6 sacks, they come here and they come there. He'll get a sack early in the game and then he'll just go ghost. Most teams know how to block Vita as far as rushing the passer. And then Vita can't stay on the field a long time, too. That's why if he was a lot smaller, I think Vita, if he was 30 pounds lighter, 15, 20 pounds lighter, Vita have like 12 sacks right now. The Bucks are offensive heavy. It is what it is, folks. Until Jason Light address that defense, we're going to be offensive heavy. Yeah, I know Deion Jones, Atlanta. He played for Atlanta. I think he was with the Panthers for a little bit. I think he went to the Saints. I mean, he bounced around. I thought Deion Jones was going to be a pretty good. When he played for Atlanta, he played pretty decent. Yeah, Jason Light gonna have to really focus on that defense, and most likely, in my opinion, we're gonna lose Liam Cohen. Jason Light got his hands full, man. He do. He's gonna have to really address that defense, the cornerbacks, the linebackers, and D line. This draft most likely going to be a heavy defensive draft because our offense is going to be fine if we keep Liam Cohen, but I don't think so, in my opinion. I personally don't think we're going to keep Liam Cohen, in my opinion. Anybody want to put a bet on Liam Cohen getting the head coaching job? Sal said UFO Hall. I think Liam Cohen's gonna get a head coaching job, folks. And I hate to say it like that, but he's doing too good of a job, and teams gonna want that. Teams are gonna want his scheme. And once again, a one and done OC. Dave Canales last year. Now this year's gonna be Liam Cohen, in my opinion. In my opinion. Unidentified foreign object. Yeah, I'm just keeping it real, folks. I don't think Liam Cohen's gonna stick around, folks. Why would he turn down a head coaching job to stay with the Bucks? He got all the momentum. People are like, well, Liam Cohen's gonna pull a Ben Johnson. I think not. Because the reason why I say that, folks, because there's going to be too many jobs opening, and teams are going to call, and they're going to look at the Bucks offense. They're going to be like, the Bucks offense is the top 10 in a lot of major categories. We want that. We want Shador Sanders in that offense. We want Cam Ward in that offense. The Giants, the Raiders, the Saints, the Jets, the Bears. There's too many teams that's going to want that. The Browns, possibly. Yeah, the Panthers are playing better. As far as the future at quarterback, the Falcons are set. If Bryce Young continues to play like he plays, the Panthers will be set. The Saints are pretty much washed with an old roster. And then the Bucks with Baker Mayfield in his prime, kind of overachieving, you know. But yeah, so let's get down to these stats, man. I'm just blabbing about, but I just want to give y'all. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not saying that Liam Cohen's going to leave. I'm just saying, in my opinion, the Bengals coaching job might be open. Look at the 49ers if they fall apart. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Because the McVay and Shanahan coaching tree, they take jobs. They don't turn down jobs. Go look at the McVay Shanahan tree. You think they're gonna turn down jobs? No, they all work together at some point. Cohen, Zach Robinson, Mike McDaniel, McVay, Shanahan, Matt LaFleur. It's a bunch of them. It's who was a part of that tree? Zach Taylor. All these guys coached in that Shanahan tree. You don't think teams are going to want that? It's going to suck for us because that means once again Baker's going to be in another offense, in my opinion, and then we're going to hire an OC. Yeah, Tony, that's correct, Tony. If we make the playoffs, Todd Bowles ain't going nowhere. Anyway, the Bucks and the Chargers. All right, I want to focus on the Chargers defense. Right? Chargers defense allows 15.9 points a game. First in the NFL. The Bucks score 27.9 points a game. Fifth in the NFL. We got a top scoring defense against a top 5 scoring offense. It's going to be a fun matchup, folks. Chargers defense is really solid, folks. Watch the tape. They're very disciplined. Mike, was that Jesse Minter, former Michigan DC. The Bucks offense, 379 yards a game, third in the NFL. The Chargers defense allows 323 yards a game, 11th in the NFL. Yards per play, the Bucks offense is 5th in the NFL with 6 yards a game. Opponents' yards per play, the Chargers are 7th in the NFL, allowing 5.2 yards a game. The Bucks' third down offense is 47%, second in the NFL. The Chargers' third down defense, 35% in NFL, 35%, 7th in the NFL. Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? It's going to be a tale of two different teams. The Chargers allow 1.6 touchdowns a game, number 1 in the NFL. The Bucks score 3 tutties a game, 5th in the NFL.
Really tough to catch as well. You got to work on what you're wearing on your hands. Stafford, we saw how great he's been all season long. We were talking about last week, his accuracy. He's off on a few of these passes.
Chargers got a pretty good pass defense, too.
The weather conditions, the roads take it. So when you're playing in the rain like this, the gloves, what do? Yeah, well, there's 2 types of gloves. Okay, there's gloves that have the leather little front of it, and those are the ones that you want to use in this weather because the other ones they get slippery actually.
I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup for the Bucks.
2 is you can't catch with your hands, though. You got to prefer the chest catch, which I don't like. That's the only way you can get by in this. And then obviously the cleats have actually been not slipping as much as you thought they would.
I don't know, man. This is a tale of two different teams, man. One's a defensive oriented team, the other is a high flying offensive game. If the Bucks defense can make some plays, we can win the game. Don't get me wrong. Chargers only give up 63% completion percentage, 8th in the NFL. 6 yards a catch, 2nd in the NFL. Opponents' passing yards per game allowed. Chargers defense give up 206 yards per game. 8th in the NFL in pass defense. 7th in sack percentage, 8%. The Chargers don't beat themselves.
He makes some plays in the first half, getting involved in the rush game here, stuffing a run early in the game. And then, as you get to see these guys with all these great
There's 6 in the NFL in turnover margin. I'm sorry, not 6. They only give away the ball 0.5%. Number 1 in the NFL. They don't turn the ball over. They don't give the ball away, folks. Coaching matters. Jim Harbaugh brought that Michigan coaching staff over. Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator from Michigan. It's a crazy defense. It's a very disciplined, don't give up big plays, sound defense. All their guys have eyes on the ball. So the dinking and donking and the check downs, the Chargers are a very good tackling team too. A very good tackling team. So the dinking and donking and the checking them down and the screens, the K. Dot and the Bucky Irvin and Rashad White and hopefully it works. But the Chargers, they play too high safety. They don't give up big plays, and they're very sound. They know what they're gonna be at. Chargers offense is not that great. Chargers only scored 21 points a game, 20th in the NFL. 309 yards per game offensively, 24th in the NFL. The offense is not good, folks. Yards per play, 5.3. That's 17th in the NFL. Third down conversion, 38%, 15th in the NFL. They convert 70% of their fourth downs. Third down, 38%. That's 15th in the NFL. Red zone scoring, 54%, 19th in the NFL. Touchdowns per game, 2.2, 23rd in the NFL, folks. This is not a good offense, folks. We can beat them. It's going to be a low-scoring game, in my opinion. If the Bucs can get 20 points, we can win the game. Chargers offense is not that good, folks. Chargers average 111 yards a game rushing the ball, 19th in the NFL. 27 rushes a game, 14th in the NFL. Yards per rush play, 4.1, 21st in the NFL. They run the ball 46% of the time, 9th in the NFL. Chargers throw the ball 53% of the time, 24th in the NFL. Justin Herbert completing 64% of his passes, 19th in the NFL. They played the Chiefs too, man. Look again, buddy. Chiefs only scored 19 points against them. They play every team tough, man. You're not just going to score a bunch of points on the Chargers. They don't really work like that all the time with them. Regardless, the Chiefs struggle. Ravens, Bengals. They're not an easy team to beat, is my point. The Chargers only pass the ball 28 times a game, 30th in the NFL. Yards per pass play, 7.6, 11th in the NFL. I'm sorry, my bad. Let me back that up. Yeah, 12th in the NFL in passes per play, yards per play. Passing yards per game, 198. 25th in the NFL. Let that sink in, folks. The Bucs can win this game, folks. That's my point. The Chargers, they kind of, they're a balanced team. They run the ball 53% of the time. They run the ball. I mean, they pass the ball 53% of the time. They run the ball 46% of the time. That's a balanced team. Jim Harbaugh don't have those guys. Like when Brandon Staley was coaching the Chargers, you saw the problems. We can beat the Chargers, folks. It's just going to be tough. My point. The Chargers are not going to give up a lot of big plays. They don't. They play. They're a sound defense. Okay. You can't play willy-nilly with a disciplined defense. This will not be an easy game for the Bucs. That's the overall point I'm making. This game will not be easy. No matter how you cut this pie, no matter how you justify it, this team is better than the Raiders. No irrefutable facts. I'm giving you irrefutable facts now. Enough of the stats. Let's get to the real juicy part. The Chargers are leaps and bounds better than the Raiders. They're better than the Giants, and they're better than the Panthers. Doesn't matter with all the semantics, all the stats, all the data I'm giving you. The point is, the Chargers are leaps and bounds better than the teams that the Bucs played these last 3 weeks. This will not be an easy game. Why? Jim Harbaugh. See, this is the problem with some of you Bucs fans. You keep trying to justify things. Just accept that this team's just better than what we played the last 3 weeks. That's all I'm trying to give y'all. That's irrefutable facts, and you still trying to justify it. I've already told you the Bucs can win this game. I'm just saying that the Chargers are better than what we played the last 3 weeks. That is simple, irrefutable facts. If you convince yourself the Chargers are a little bit better than the Raiders and the Giants and the Panthers, then you're delusional. Please don't be delusional. We do this every year. As soon as the Bucs start beating bad teams, here comes the justifying irrefutable facts. Yeah, you're speaking facts, but no. I don't want to hear the buts. Life works on reality. Life works on facts. Life don't work on hope. The Chargers are better than the last 3 teams the Bucs beat. It's not even close. The Chargers will mop the floor with the Raiders. They will mop the floor with the Giants, and they will beat the Panthers. That is irrefutable facts. Jim Harbaugh is better than Dave Canales. Jim Harbaugh is better than Brian Daboll. Jim Harbaugh is leaps and bounds better than Antonio Pierce. Justin Herbert is better than Aiden O'Connell. Justin Herbert is better than Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito. Justin Herbert is better than Bryce Young. We're talking about right now. The last 3 teams we played are not better than the Chargers. Irrefutable facts. There's nothing you can do about that. Trying to downplay the Chargers makes you look bad. That's all I'm saying. You can't downplay good teams. That's what gets the Bucs in trouble. Oh, but the Bucks could have beat the Chiefs. They could have beat the 49ers. Da, 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 da. Yeah, whatever. Don't want to hear it. The Bucks need to play better. This is a litmus test. We got 3 feel-good victories. Struggled against the Panthers. Easily beat the Giants with no problem. And had a little struggle, a slight struggle with the Raiders. But we got through that. This will not be an easy game. The Bucks can win this game. In my opinion, it is not a fact I'm giving y'all. I'm giving you my opinion. The Bucks can win this game. It's going to be a good game. In my opinion, I don't know what's going to happen during the game, but in my opinion, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. A good defense versus a good offense in December. You know, in December, run game and defense matters. Coaching matters. And if this game comes down to coaching, who you putting your money on? If it came down to coaching, getting the best game plan together, where are you putting your money at? Jim Harbaugh or Todd Bowles? If it came down, if everything checks off, Chargers play good defense, the Bucks play good offense, it comes down to 16-13 type game. Where are you putting your money at? Jim Harbaugh or Todd Bowles? Be honest. Be a football fan first. Because if this game is tight, I don't want this game to be tight. I want the Bucks to beat the Chargers soundly. I don't want this to be a tight game because I don't trust Todd Bowles. If all things play itself out, the Bucks offense and the Chargers defense cancel each other out. And it comes down to coaching. Who do you trust? It's a simple question. It's a 1+1 question. No semantics, no extra stuff. If the Bucks offense and the Chargers defense cancel each other out and it comes down to coaching, are you nervous? Will you be nervous about that? It's not hard, folks. I ask these simple questions sometimes, and people will skip over them. They'll kind of avoid the answer, because they don't fit the narrative. Once again, if the Bucks offense and the Chargers defense cancel each other out, if it comes down to coaching, do you trust Todd Bowles? Do you trust Todd Bowles to make the correct decision to help the Bucks win this game? Because we saw Todd Bowles against the Raiders and the 49ers and the Chiefs and the Falcons 2 times and the Broncos. And what do those losses have in common for the Bucks? Coaching. When you got a combination of a defense that's not playing well and poor coaching, that is not a recipe for success long term. It's going to be a fun game to watch, in my opinion. If the Chargers win, I wouldn't be surprised. If the Bucks win, I will be surprised. But this is going to be pretty good to see after three victories, because wins can boost confidence, and the Bucks getting 3 wins is pretty good. Going 3-0, and I said this after the bye, the Bucks are going to win 3 straight. I already told y'all how this is going to work. It's going so far. What the Bucks are doing is going exactly how I planned, or what I thought it was going to go. The Bucks was going to beat the Giants. They was going to beat the Panthers. They're going to beat the Raiders. That was already a gimme. 10-7, 9-8. The Bucks got 19 players on injury report. 19. Christian Eisen growing. Bryce Hall, ankle, injury reserve. Sterling Shepard, foot. Cole Keith, ankle. Deebo Samuels dropped the touchdown, basically. Greg Gaines, knee, questionable. Taki Smith, knee, questionable. Ben Bretson, shoulder, questionable. Mike Evans, hamstring, questionable. Winfield Jr., knee, out for several weeks. Jordan Whitehead, pectoral, questionable. Joe Tryon-Soyinka, ankle, questionable. Tristan Wirfs, foot, questionable. Mike Edwards, hamstring, questionable. Josh Hayes, hamstring, questionable. J.J. Russell, hamstring, questionable. KJ Britt, ankle, questionable. Troy Hill, IR, ankle. Evan Deckers, hamstring, IR. Savasi Dennis, shoulder, IR. Chris Godwin, knee, out. Cameron Johnson, ankle, IR. Chase Edmonds, knee, IR. Ernest Brown IV, ribs, IR. Marquise Watts, quadricep, IR. I mean, Jesus. Chargers injury report. Joey Bosa, hip, questionable. Darren Davis, hamstring, questionable. Will Disley, shoulder, doubtful. Justin Herbert, leg, questionable. Denzel Perryman, groin, questionable. Hayden Hurst, hip, questionable. Tony Jefferson, hamstring, questionable. Lamb McConkley, shoulder, questionable. J.K. Dobbins, knee, IR. Eli Apple, hamstring, IR. The Bucks got so many injuries. I gotta give Todd Bowles some credit. The Bucks are 7-6 with all these injuries. I gotta give him something. But man, he made some bad coaching decisions. Yeah, Eli Apple still playing. Crazy, right? I was reading. Remember, I want to talk about this real quick. I got to give a shout out to Liam Cohen, and this confirms what I said about Liam Cohen and him being the OC. After 10 weeks, actually about week 8, 9ish, I got an idea what he's trying to do. He's done a heck of a job as an OC. I played it out the way I wanted to play it out. I wanted to wait till week 7, 8, 9ish, up to 10. Look at the Bucs offense and see it as a whole. The Bucs offense is very hard to defend. Liam Cohen has done leaps and bounds. Like, I mean, a great job by Liam Cohen. More than likely going to get a head coaching job. Remember what I was telling you about the Bucs offense being horizontal? Dinkish, donkish, screen, spamming, all that stuff like that. 0 to 7 yard type offense. The stats backs the numbers. I mean, the play on the field. The 4 quarterbacks that has benefited from Yak. In 2024, there are 4 quarterbacks that have benefited from Yak. Those 4 quarterbacks, number 1, Jared Goff. Jared Goff has benefited from Yak, and nobody's close in the NFL this year. Nobody has benefited from Yak than Jared Goff, and nobody's close. He's number 1 in the NFL in Yak yards. So there's 4 quarterbacks: Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and guess who's number 4? Guess who's the 4th quarterback to benefit from a ton of Yak? Baker Mayfield. Do y'all understand what Yak means? Yards after catch. Baker Mayfield is one of 4 quarterbacks this year in 2024 that has benefited from a ton of Yak. Tons of Yak. And the thing about it, the 4 quarterbacks, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield, are having outlier seasons when it comes to yards after catch. YAC. The biggest 20 beneficiaries from Yak since 2019. Since 2019, the 20 biggest beneficiaries from Yak. Lamar Jackson is 6th in the NFL since 2019. This season, Lamar Jackson his yak yards will rank him fourth in the NFL. I mean, sixth in the NFL since 2009, since 2009. Since 2009, Lamar Jackson 2024 season ranked sixth. The seventh most yak yards since 2009. Baker Mayfield 2024. This season will rank Baker Mayfield seventh in the NFL since 2009 in yak yards. What did I tell y'all about this a couple weeks ago about Baker and his yak yards? That's why I got to give Liam Cohen a ton of credit. Baker Mayfield is overachieving with this offense. Let me repeat this. Baker Mayfield yak yards this season will rank him seventh in the NFL since 2009 when it comes to yak. Jared Goff will be 10th in the NFL. This season, Jared Goff, his yak yards will rank him 10th in the NFL since 2009. And Josh Allen, that will rank Josh Allen's yak this season will rank him 16th in the NFL since 2009. What did I tell you about Liam Cohen's offense? Got Baker Mayfield with a completion percentage of 70%. You want to know why? Dink, don't, screen. It's folks. Liam has scripted this offense down, simplified, which tells me the complexity of the offense. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter. Liam Cohen offense is really good. Got Baker Mayfield with a 70% completion percentage, and Baker Mayfield career, he's a 61% completion percentage quarterback. You can stick any quarterback in this offense, it's going to work. That's the point. It's a bunch of yak. Baker career completion percentage is 61%. He's always been a high turnover quarterback. Shout out to Liam Cohen. He got Baker Mayfield overachieving outside of his career. Think about that, folks. I told y'all this a couple weeks ago about Liam Cohen's offense. This is more about Cohen than Baker Mayfield. This is more about Liam Cohen than Baker Mayfield. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. Baker Mayfield passing yards is mostly yak. Seventh in the NFL this season, his yak, and we got 4 more games to go. This season, currently, before this Sunday's game, is ranked 7th in the NFL since 2009. The yak. That means dump the ball off and let these running backs and receivers and tight ends run. And then you factor in a top 10 run game, which is something the Bucs have never had since Doug Martin in 2016. And you think Liam Cohen's not going to get a head coaching job? Do y'all understand what yak is? That means the ball is not traveling far in the air. Go watch the tape, folks. I said this 2 weeks ago. I said this 2 weeks ago. Go watch the tape. Liam Cohen has done a hell of a job. The averages, the Baker Mayfield currently, his current average as far as his passing stats, he's playing above his norm. He's a 61% completion percentage guy prior to this season. You don't think other GMs are going to want Liam Cohen as a head coach? It's amazing what Liam Cohen has done. And also the Bucs O-line. I want to talk about the Bucs O-line real quick. The Bucs O-line in particular, the tackles have done a really good job. So there is some data on where the pressure is coming from. I'm gonna give y'all this pressure situation. So the Bucs O-line, 26.5% is coming from the tackles. 16% of the pressures is coming from the center, and 56.9% is coming from the guards. No 56% of the pressure is coming from the guards. So the Bucs center and tackle situation, the pressure is not coming from the center. The center has the least amount of pressures given up. Shout out to Graham Barton. 16.7%. It's coming from the center. So Graham Barton is doing his job. 56.9% of the pressure is coming from the guards. 26% of the pressure is coming from the tackles. So that means the center is giving up the least amount of pressures. Would you think? Could you believe that? And I got it. This is for you, Wish. I remember you talking about Jackson Powers Johnson. The Raiders center position is only giving up 7.3% pressure. You wish. Jackson Powers Johnson. Only giving up 7.3% of pressures. So once again, I was correct about Jackson Powers Johnson about being the center for the Bucs. Even though, don't get me wrong, I love Graham Barton. But if the Bucs would have drafted Jackson Powers Johnson, I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay with Jackson Powers Johnson at center because he's giving up 7.3% pressures. Mr. You Wish, since you brought him up, I just had to throw a shot at you. Nothing personal though, because I don't know. You threw Jackson Powers Johnson out there, but you didn't double check, buddy. I had to double check that. I'm just saying, just to put that out there. Jackson Powers Johnson has given up the least amount of pressures from weeks 1 through 13. I'm gonna repeat. Graham Barton has only given up 16.7% pressures. The Bucs O-line is solid, but the guards, they still kind of like, the guards are like, but the Bucs from week 1 through 13, as far as overall pressure, only giving up 20% pressure rate, which ranks them 14th in the NFL. But that's mostly because of the guards. Still good, but they're in the green. But Jackson Powell-Johnson is that guy at center. The Bucs O-line is pretty good. Jackson Powell-Johnson is a plug-and-play center. 7% pressure rate. He's really like that. I watched him in college. It's pretty good. That's pretty good from a center. The Patriots center only giving up 2.2% pressures. Eagles, 1.3% pressure. So if you're under 10% of pressure rate, that means you're pretty good at center. And to be honest, the 16.7% is pretty high when it comes to centers. The highest center, well, this is crazy. The Arizona Cardinals center gives up 46.5% pressure rate. Arizona center. Yikes. The next closest after that is 19.9%. That's the Texans center. And then you got the Vikings center give up 17%. So Graham Barton gives up the 4th most pressures when it comes to center. Yep. So Graham Barton gives up the 4th most pressures amongst centers. But the Bucs overall O-line is pretty good. Top 15. 1, 2, 3. Jackson Powell-Johnson ranks 4th in the NFL with the least amount of pressure amongst centers. Jackson Powell-Johnson is really like that. So it didn't, I mean, as long as the Bucs got an interior O-lineman, I was fine with that. But Graham Barton is playing pretty well, even though this is a rookie season. He's not a natural center. People don't understand this. Graham Barton's doing a really good job. He's not a natural center. He played tackle at Duke. I think he'll be a better guard than center, in my personal opinion. I think he'll be an all-pro guard. If the Bucs had a center worth a damn, Graham Barton will probably be damn near all-pro guard right now. But this is a learning curve for Graham Barton. Even though he gives up the 4th most pressures, according to what I'm seeing here, but he's learning on the job. Let's get back to the Bucs offense. Liam Cohen's early down play calling tendencies. The Bucs under center as far as passing, right? So the Bucs is under center 42% of the time. Under center, plays from under center 42% of the time. 29% of those 42%, 29% of the 29% of the snaps from under center is run. So let me repeat this. When the Bucs is under center, they're under center 42% of the time. Out of that 42%, 29% of it is runs, 9% is play action pass, no play action pass, 3%. So when Baker Mayfield gets under center, Liam Cohen runs the ball 29% of the time. That's pretty good. Okay. Three. 48% of the time, the Bucs are in shotgun. Play action pass, no play action pass, 29% of the time. When the Bucs is under shotgun, when the Bucs are in shotgun, Liam Cohen, when he puts Baker Mayfield in shotgun, I'm giving y'all a breakdown of the tendencies of the Bucs. 48% of the time they're in shotgun. 29% of that is no play action pass. They just line up in shotgun and throw the ball. 14% of that is runs. 5% is play action pass out of the shotgun. So when it comes to under the center or running the ball out of shotgun, the Bucs run the ball 43% of the time. So whether they're in shotgun or under the center, they run the ball 43% of the time, which explains why the Bucs run game is hard to defend, because they can run it in shotgun and they can run it under center. Shout out to Liam Cohen. You can't get a bead on the Bucs offense. You can't get a lock on. You can't lock on the Bucs offense because they can run it out of the shotgun and they can run it from under center, which means the play action pass will screw you up. And the crazy thing about it is the play action pass, whether it's shotgun or run, is 14% of the time. 32% of the time, there is no play action. "32% of the time when they're in the shotgun or the under center, no play action pass. So you can't even get a bead on the Bucs offense. You don't even know what Liam Cohen's on the call. 3% of that, 100% is out of RPO. So they only run the ball, they only run RPO 3% of the time, whether it's shotgun or whether it's shotgun. 3% of the time of that offense is RPO. 7% is screens. Seven percent of it is screens, 3% is RPOs. Folks, they can't defend Liam Cohen's offense. Liam Cohen is hard to figure out. Whether it's in the shotgun or under center, they run the ball 42% of the time. I'm sorry, 43% of the time. Liam Cohen is really pretty good. He's pretty good because defensive coordinators, they can't get a beat on what he's doing.
Legal formation. San Francisco with the 45 is lined up in the backfield. The Rams will force the 5-yard penalty at the end of the play. First and 10. Stafford back to work in a 6-6 game.
So the Bucks passed the ball 34, 37, 46% of the time, or 53% of the time. Liam Cohen offense is hard to figure out, folks. Like for the defensive coordinators, they have a hard time trying to get a rhythm on his offensive scheme. This is why I think he's going to get a head coaching job, or he will get offered multiple head coaching jobs. He's leaps and bounds better than Dave Canales. He got Baker Mayfield playing well above his career average across the board. Baker Mayfield is having an outlier season in touchdowns, completion percentage. That's crazy. Shout out to Liam Cohen, man. I just gave y'all the breakdown of the play calling. Don't get mad at me. Liam Cohen is doing a hell of a job. Now, Baker Mayfield got to tighten up on the QBR. And a couple of comprehensive quarterback stats, EPA, adjusted EPA, raw QBR, Baker Mayfield surprisingly is not in the top 15. So EPA and QBR are two quarterback data statistics that kind of that it factors in everything. Like the EPA counts for catch per point, yak, interceptions, return, fumbles, pass block, and defenses faced. So Baker Mayfield EPA for 2024, surprisingly, very shocked at this. 29th in the NFL in his EPA. '29th in the NFL in EPA. That means his impact on the game, his overall EPA adjusted is 0.05. Number one is 0.25, Joe Burrow. I was shocked by that. That means, remember I was telling you about the yak? A lot of Baker Mayfield's passing yards is yak. EPA includes yak yards too. And it also includes defenses faced. It includes interceptions, yards after catch, catch point. His EPA is 29th in the NFL. Unbelievable. I was shocked. Joe Burrow is number one in his EPA. Do y'all want the top 10? Y'all want the top 10 EPA quarterbacks? Do y'all want that? So y'all can see where Baker Mayfield, he's not even in the green. He's like light green, super light green. I was shocked. Baker Mayfield, can't believe it. I thought his EPA would be higher. I don't like that. I don't like that. And Baker Mayfield's QBR. Did y'all know Baker Mayfield's QBR is 27th in the NFL? How is that possible? 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Your QBR is 27th in the NFL at 51.9%. Liam Cohen is doing a hell of a job. Even if you add, going back to EPA, even if you add the PFF, you know, some of you folks like PFF. Some of you like PFF. I'm just giving you the perspective of what Liam Cohen is doing to the Bucs offense. If you blend it with PFF, Baker moves up from 29 to 24. It averages out to 58. I am so shocked with over what? A little over 3,000 yards, with 3,300 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. QBR 51.9. EPA without PFF is 29th. EPA with PFF is 24th. Something ain't right. Now, Baker Mayfield, now some of you like PFF. So Baker PFF got Baker ranked at 63% or 63 rating. PFF. Because, you know, some of you folks like PFF. Well, PFF this and PFF that. Well, PFF got Baker Mayfield at rating at 63. So, like I told y'all, this is more about Liam Cohen than Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, he is who he is as a quarterback. His career shows you that. He's having an outlier season. Baker Mayfield is playing well, but he's playing well above what he really is because of the system. Baker Mayfield EPA is 54. Adjusted PFF. That's what PFF is 54. PFF by itself is 63. And you folks love using PFF. Some of you do. So you mean to tell me Aaron Rodgers got a better PFF rating than Baker Mayfield? Is that possible? Because, you know, PFF, people like use PFF all the time. Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Daniels, Joe Burrow. They all got better PFF ratings than Baker Mayfield. You know, oh hell nah. Oh hell nah. No way. This can't be true. You know, I'm not a big fan of PFF, but people like use PFF. Jameis Winston got a 66 PFF rating, and Baker got a 63. What is going on there? Hold on. Jameis EPA is 94, and Baker's is 54? That is insane. So Joe Burrow got a perfect EPA. Joe Burrow has 100 EPA, 100 PFF. He has an average with PFF. When you average EPA and PFF together, Joe Burrow is the only quarterback at 100 across the board. EPA 100, PFF 100. Lamar has a 99 PFF. Jalen Daniel has a 90 PFF. Josh Allen has a 93. Sam Darnold has an 86. Brock Purdy, 76. Justin Herbert has a 95 PFF. Derek Carr has an 85 PFF. Jameis Winston has a 66. And Baker has a 63. Is that right? Yep, that's PFF. For those PFF folks. And this was adjusted EPA with a PFF blend. Joe Burrow is at 100. Is number 1. Jalen Daniels number 2. Josh Allen number 3. Lamar Jackson number 4. Sam Darnold number 5. Brock Purdy 6. Justin Herbert 7. Derek Carr 8. Winston is 9. Russell Wilson is 10. Those are your top 10 quarterbacks, EPA adjusted with PFF, and you divide it by 2. So 1 through 10 is from 100 to 79. The highest is 100. We're talking about top 10 quarterbacks with EPA and PFF adjusted. Joe Burrow has 100, and Russell Wilson at 79, ranked number 10. That's the average. The average quarterback, the top 10. So if you got a 79, Russell Wilson has a 79 average. Patrick Mahomes is 11th in the NFL with EPA plus PFF divided by 2. Patrick Mahomes is 76. But Patrick Mahomes has an 82 PFF rating with a 69 rating EPA. That averages out to 76. So Patrick Mahomes still in the top 11. But what's so crazy is people like using PFF to make their case, all these other stats. But I'm just giving y'all what the numbers say. The math is the math. You can't get mad at me. The math is the math. Baker throwing 13 picks, that don't help. Fumbling the ball, 13 picks, a lot of yak. Defenses played. Drop interceptions. Receiver drop pass protection. All these things factor in EPA. Baker Mayfield is 24th in the NFL with a 58 average. The math is the math, folks. Baker Mayfield is ahead of Drake May, Justin Fields, Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, Joe Flacco, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew, Will Levis, Deshaun Watson, and Cooper Rush. Those are the quarterbacks Baker Mayfield is ranked ahead of when it comes to EPA plus PFF blend equals a 58 average. The math is the math. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. The math is the math. You like PFF? Well, Baker Mayfield PFF is 63. Jameis Winston is terrible at 66, and Baker's at 63 when it comes to PFF. Can somebody explain that? Since people like to bring him up all the time, why does he have a better PFF rating than Baker? Why does he have a better EPA? That's with PFF. Baker got a top 10 run game. And your PFF rating is 63. Your EPA impact, your impact on the game at quarterback is 0.05. Just EPA alone. That is correct. Bucky and Liam Cohen has made Baker Mayfield look a hell of a lot better than what he really is. The impact of Bucky Irvin and Liam Cohen has upgraded the Bucs offense even more. Graham Barton, Bucky Irvin, and Liam Cohen. I'm just blowing up. I'm just trying to figure out why is Baker Mayfield EPA is so low. Why is his EPA without PFF? Why is his EPA 0.05? So you mean to tell me his impact of the game is not that big? The numbers is the math, folks. Don't get mad at me. The math is the math. This is a database that consolidates everything. Just like people like to use PFF for their narratives and their points, there's other stats out here too. You just can't use PFF. But even if you use PFF, he's only at 63. That is behind multiple quarterbacks. Even Winston, the worst. People consider Winston a terrible quarterback. Baker Mayfield got $30 million a year, and your rating, whether it's PFF or EPA, is ranked below 20. So that means your impact as a player is not that big of a deal. But luckily, the Bucs got a top 10 run game. You can't throw 13 picks. You can't have drop interceptions. You can't fumble the ball and have a high PFF rating or have a high EPA rating. Can't do that, folks. Now, Baker's playing well. 70% completion percentage, 3,300 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Good in the red zone, but the impact. It's more about Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White's yak. Bucky Irvin's yak. Chris Godwin was getting a lot of yak. Cade Otton was getting a lot of yak. The throws down the field is very limited. It's 0 to 8 yards. A lot of screens and tunnel screens and jet sweeps and tunnel screens and running back screens and tight end screens. Boy, oh boy. See, sometimes when you go beyond 1 inch deep, when you go like 6, 7 inch, 9 inches deep, it'll tell you a lot about the quarterback. Yes, Mr. Everything Bucks. Interceptions is included. EPA includes interceptions. PFF includes interceptions. And it also includes the impact of your play. And it also includes the defenses that you're playing. Are you doing this against really good defenses? In the last 3 weeks, it has not helped Baker because he struggled in the Panthers game. He struggled in the Raiders game. Interceptions are included. Once again, for you PFF folks, he's 63. It includes turnover-worthy plays, drop interceptions. It includes pass protection. It includes a lot of variables to come up with EPA and PFF. The math is the math, folks. Don't get mad at me. The math is the math. You folks that like to use PFF, what PFF says, Baker is at 63. That is below the beloved, hated quarterback that is so terrible, Jameis Winston. 63. That's Winston. Winston is 66. Baker's at 63. Remember, Winston is terrible. So Baker Mayfield, his ratings, EPA and PFF includes turnover-worthy plays. It includes fumbles. It includes interceptions. It includes defenses faced. It includes pass protection. It includes everything. Every quarterback, the effect of the quarterback. That means everything around Baker Mayfield has more an effect on the game than Baker Mayfield himself. That means Bucky Irvin, Rachaad White, Cade Otton, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, the Bucs O-line have a bigger impact on the game than Baker Mayfield. Because comparing Baker Mayfield to the other quarterbacks, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes, he's not even close to them. When it comes to EPA and when it comes to PFF, he's not even close to them. And y'all talking about, I remember some people talking about $40 million, Baker Mayfield. Hell no. Nah. What he's getting right now is perfect for him. What Baker Mayfield is getting, the $30 million, is perfect. Nothing more, nothing less. He has a lower EPA than Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is considered not good. Trevor Lawrence has a better EPA. Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones has a better EPA. This is without PFF, Justin. Folks, this is crazy. And then when you add PFF, Baker goes from he goes from without PFF, he goes from 29. With PFF, he goes to 24. Folks, the math is the math. I'm just giving y'all, this is more about Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield. I'm not taking shots at Baker Mayfield. I just want y'all to see what Liam Cohen is actually working with. Adjusted EPA. Baker Mayfield is 29th in the NFL. Without PFF, adjusted EPA is 0.05 out of 36 quarterbacks. And Baker got $30 million. That's exactly what he's supposed to get. Some people thought about 3-year, $120 million. Are you crazy? Liam Cohen is working with a quarterback that is average at best. I told y'all this. And people don't want to believe it, but when you start looking at the numbers and look at the tape, the turnover-worthy plays, the drop interceptions, the sacks taking, the incompletions, Bucky Irvin, Liam Cohen, and Graham Barton, and the usage of Rachaad White has helped Baker Mayfield play above what he's expected to play. Shout out to Jason Light. Shout out to Jason Light, drafting Graham Barton, getting Bucky Irvin, getting Liam Cohen here. Because the issue I have with some of the Bucs fans is they try to make it seem like it's all about Baker. But when you break it down and you look at the film and you look at the turnover-worthy plays, the interceptions, the fumbles, the sacks taken, all the yak that he's received from the skill position. The 70% completion percentage. Come on, fam. Like you ain't making super hard throws, man. Liam Cohen is going to get a head coaching job, whether it's this year or next year. I can promise you that. Well, I can't promise you that, but in my opinion, Liam Cohen is going to get a head coaching job.
Insurance and estate planning, all with low fees. We're experiencing technical a modern approach to wealth management. This week on Chew, shop and get a $30 gift card to use on treats they want.
I'm after, and when I first seen this, I thought Baker's PFF and his EPA would be a lot higher. I thought Baker Mayfield would be a top 10 PFF quarterback. And I don't even like PFF, but I thought he would be a top 10 EPA quarterback. But what does that tell you? Top 10 pass game, top 10 run game. That is about Liam Cohen with the play calling. And Baker Mayfield still has a lot of turnover-worthy plays. Still with a high turnover-worthy plays. That's not counting the actual 13 interceptions. That's not counting the drop interceptions. Turnover-worthy plays. And then Baker Mayfield's QBR is 24th in the NFL. The Rams about to beat the 49ers. The Rams is about to beat the 49ers, folks. And we lost to them. We lost to the 49ers. Look at Sal. See, Sal, what a lot of Bucs fans don't do is they don't do what I'm doing. I'm giving you the Liam Cohen breakdown of how he schemes his play calling. How hard is Liam offense? How hard is his offense to defend? It is very hard to defend Liam Cohen's offense. A lot of Baker Bros and Bucs fans, they don't dig this deep with the numbers. They just look at touchdowns and interceptions. Oh, yeah. But they don't realize the play calling is super easy. A bunch of screens, tunnel screens, tight end screens, wide receiver screens, running back flares, and a couple check downs. 70% of completion percentage. 70% completion percentage. His career average is 61% completion percentage prior to this season. He's not a 70% completion quarterback unless this offense is simplified with checkdowns and screens and flares and swing passes. Come on, folks. Dig deep in the numbers and look at the tape. I told y'all this 2 weeks ago. I'm just confirming with the math. The math is the math. He's not a down the field thrower with the ball. He got to play within this system. This system is making him look, he's overachieving. This is about Liam Cohen. This is not about Baker Mayfield. This is about Liam Cohen, folks. Baker Mayfield is a dog. He gets it in. But you can literally see he's overachieving. He's never had this type of season in his career. 70% completion percentage. You think that's what he is? Hell nah. It's a reason why Liam Cohen got him throwing the ball a lot between 0 and 5 yards because he can't see. He can't see down the field. A lot of his throws are not down the field. It's on tape, and the numbers match the tape. Don't let numbers fool you, folks. Do not let touchdowns and interceptions fool you, folks. People like to look at touchdowns and interceptions. When you start digging in, Baker impact in the game, like Baker's never been a high productive quarterback. He's not a high productive quarterback. In general, with this system, it makes it look like he's a high productive quarterback. But when you peel the layers back, when you start looking at the data, I'm not making this up, folks. You can look it up yourself. Now, his passer rating is pretty good because of a lot of the checkdowns and screens and stuff and flares. But there are three stats that people like to use: QBR, EPA, and PFF. That factors in everything. See, passer rating just factors in passing. See, QBR, EPA, and even PFF, it likes to include everything. If Liam Cohen leaves this team, folks, Baker's in trouble. Baker Mayfield and Liam Cohen is a match made in heaven because Liam Cohen got Baker Mayfield looking good with a top 10 running game. I told y'all this. Most quarterbacks, 95% of quarterbacks are going to look good with a good running game. I've been preaching this for the last several years, even with Brady, even with Winston. You got to give them a running game. You can't just say drop back and throw the ball. Can't do that. Liam Cohen, they must keep Liam Cohen with the Bucs. He got Baker Mayfield playing above average. He's overachieving. Baker Mayfield QBR is 24th in the NFL. So here's the top 10 QBRs. Now we did the PFF, we did the EPA. Let's do the QBRs. Josh Allen, number one in the NFL in QBR. $76.7. Joe Burrow, number 2. 74. Lamar Jackson, 73. Jalen Daniels, 72. That's 4th rank. 5th rank, Kyler Murray, 71 QBR. Brock Purdy, 68.5. That's number 6. Jameis Winston, 66 QBR. Matthew Stafford, 65. Jalen Hurts, 65.2. Patrick Mahomes, 64.6. Baker Mayfield, 51.9. That's 24th in the NFL. I just gave you the top 10 quarterbacks in QBR. I gave you the QBR, I gave you the EPA, and I gave you PFF. I even gave you PFF with EPA adjusted. Gave you multiple quarterback stats, and he's still $30 million is perfect for Baker Mayfield. So you got PFF, EPA adjusted with PFF, and you got PFF by itself. So you got 4 major quarterback stats. Come on, man. It's crazy, man. I don't understand. Even if you do raw QBR, raw QBR, Baker is 23rd with raw QBR. I'm just saying, folks. The Bucks are 76. That's good for them, but I just had to give y'all the breakdown, man. Raw QBR, he's still 23rd in the NFL. It's crazy, folks. It's crazy. The Rams about to beat the 49ers, folks. The Rams are starting to get hot. The Rams, if they win this game, the Rams will be 8-6. The Bucks have no room to lose, folks. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Bucks cannot go 9-8. They go 9-8, they ain't getting in. The Falcons got a couple easy games. The Bucks got a couple easy games. The Bucks got a little room. The Bucks really don't have any room to lose no games. They shouldn't lose any more games. They got to beat the Chargers. They got to beat the Panthers. They got to beat the Cowboys. They got to beat the Saints. Got me nervous, folks. But I just want to give y'all a full breakdown of Liam Cohen, man. Liam Cohen, man, he's really that guy. No, what y'all think about the 49ers? If the 49ers is their time done? Brock Purdy. If would the 49ers play Brock? Would they pay Brock Purdy $50 million? Should John Lynch pay Brock Purdy more than $40 million a year? The Rams just beat the 49ers. The Rams D line is really like that. No, the Rams are on fire. The Rams have won 7 of the last 8 games, I believe. The 49ers better not pay Brock Purdy no $40 million. They should pay Brock Purdy what Baker Mayfield is getting. That's period, folks. Brock Purdy should not get nothing near $35 million a year. He should really get about 25 to 30. That's about it. The Rams D line is really like that, folks. The Rams are on fire. The 49ers are done. And remember I told y'all at the beginning of the season about the Rams? I said this. I said, if the Rams get healthy, they're going to be a problem. He said, who would you take, Brock Purdy or Baker Mayfield? It's about the same, to be honest with you. Brock has a little bit more athleticism, but it's about the same. Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield is about the same. That's why Brock Purdy should not get over $30 million a year. To me, they're the same quarterback. They have to be in a system to make them look good. They're not going to make players better. They both need a high-level run game to be productive at quarterback. If you say Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, win us this game, it's not going to happen. For the most part, it's not going to happen. But they're pretty much, that's not a huge difference between Brock Purdy and Baker Mayfield. They're about the same size. 6 foot, 6'1", however you want to call it, 6 foot and 3/4. Baker has a stronger arm. Brock Purdy's a little bit more athletic. But when you strip everything down, they're about the same. They're about the same quarterback. They don't make players better. Brock Purdy can't make Deebo Samuels. Yeah, Baker has more toughness, and you want to use the word moxie. Sal don't like that word moxie. Sal hates that word. But it ain't no huge difference between the two. The 49ers, their Super Bowl window is gone. Moxie. Naxie. He has that Naxie. Sal hate that word. But the numbers, the math is the math, folks. Baker Mayfield, from a quarterback math perspective, I mean, it is what it is. Don't get mad at me. I didn't make this database up. I didn't make PFF up. I didn't make EPA up. I didn't make QBR. His quarterback rating is pretty good. But how much better can Baker Mayfield be? Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield is pretty much the same guy. Brock Purdy is younger, but Brock Purdy has reached his ceiling already. It's kind of like one of those. What's a quarterback like that? Like Brock Purdy. When I saw him at Iowa State, I didn't see him getting any better in the NFL. He's a steady guy. Baker Mayfield reached his peak early. This is the best version of Baker Mayfield you're going to get. Baker Mayfield has a high floor, low ceiling. Jalen Hurts is another one. Jalen Hurts reached his peak already. Dak Prescott reached his peak already. Kirk Cousins reached his peak several years ago. But you can see Matthew Stafford, his ceiling is high. Josh Allen, high ceiling. Patrick Mahomes, high ceiling. Lamar Jackson, high ceiling. Joe Burrow, kind of a mid-level high ceiling. Trevor Lawrence reached his peak already. Baker Mayfield has a high floor, low ceiling. Okay. Russell Wilson got better as he progressed, but then he reached his ceiling. When you look at a quarterback, you look at their best and look at their worst. That's your level of engagement. So when I look at Baker Mayfield's best version of him last season was his career season. 4,044 yards. That's Baker Mayfield's ceiling. Right now, currently, he has 3,300 yards, 3,300 and some change. 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. You know what that tells me? From a touchdown perspective, he's overachieved. Baker Mayfield will probably finish. Let me see. We got 4 games left. He'll probably finish around that 4,000 yard. Let me see. 3,300 yards right now. Let me see. 200 and some. That's 35 and 37, 3,900. Yeah. So about between 3,900 and 4,200 yards. I'm just saying. Folks. Baker Mayfield has a high floor. Last year, this year, that's Baker. That's the best version of him. Got to have a top 10 run game. I even said this, folks. The quarterbacks I named, Jalen Daniels, CJ Stroud, they all got higher ceilings. That means when I say higher ceilings, they can produce a lot more than Baker Mayfield. They can have a bigger impact on the game. They don't need, well, I mean, all quarterbacks need a running game, but necessarily they don't need a top tier. Everybody got to be top tier. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Injury is the dominance of the 49ers over. That's something you have to question. Well, we've talked about that, right? You either make
Patrick Mahomes got a high ceiling. We talk about high producing quarterbacks at their best. They're high level producers. At Baker Mayfield's best, he's just slightly at average, a little bit above. If 5 is an average grade, Baker Mayfield is like a 5.6. I will always take a high ceiling quarterback versus a high floor quarterback. I'm gonna always take Josh Allen type quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes type quarterback. I'm gonna take the highly producing quarterback that can give you the super ceiling than somebody that will give you the Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence ceiling. You get what I'm saying, folks? The Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, those are average ceilings. They're high floors but low ceilings. I'm gonna always take the high ceiling guy. That's just the type of. If I had to pick a quarterback, I'm going to take the high ceiling quarterback, the high ceiling. I can deal with the worst part, but if I hit on him, I'm going to be NFC, AFC Championship, Super Bowls all the time, or in the running. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the high producing quarterbacks, the high ceiling quarterback every time than the average high floor, low ceiling, ultra conservative quarterbacks. I don't want no Derek Carr. I don't want a Trevor Lawrence. I don't want those Kirk Cousins. I don't want that. I don't want none of that. I'll take a Matthew Stafford type quarterback. Andrew Luck. Give me those quarterbacks. It might come with some extras, might come with some turnovers, some sacks, but those guys can make guys better. Brock Purdy's, they need the guy to be already good. I'm not taking nothing away from Baker Mayfield. I said he has a high floor, but a low ceiling. Baker's going to probably end up with like 32 to 36 touchdowns and about 3,900 to 4,200 yards, unless he has one of these crazy games. That he goes like 300 some yards a couple times. But he's overachieving, man. He's overachieving, man. Grizzlo, what's up, buddy? Moxie, grit. You can call it what you want to call it. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm just giving. You missed the first part, but I was giving people. I was giving Liam Cohen his flowers, man. That how he got Baker Mayfield looking is he got Baker Mayfield clearly overachieving his career average. No, it's mostly about Liam Cohen and the Bucks' offensive scheme. How it's so difficult to play against. Yeah, it's been more about the Bucks scheme and Liam Cohen and Bucky Irvin, the impact of Graham Barton, the center, the guards need to be improved, but the tackle's doing well. The scheme is like it got the Bucks offense looking great. Top 10 run game, top 10 passing game, but that's all about Liam Cohen. Because his scheme does not require the quarterback to be a high level football player. Liam Cohen's scheme does not require a Patrick Mahomes. It's like the Kyle Shanahan situation in the Sean McVay scheme. Sean McVay had Jared Goff looking good. Kyle Shanahan had Jimmy G looking good. Had got Brock Purdy looking good. You get what I'm saying? So it was more about the system than the quarterback. Is what I've been saying for the last hour. And Flash Gordon and Grizzlo, you missed the breakdown outside of the 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 3,300 yards and some change. When you dig deeper into the QBR, the EPA, the adjusted EPA with PFF and PFF by itself, Baker Mayfield is behind a lot of quarterbacks. The Grizzlo, the EPA stuff threw me off. Adjusted EPA, adjusted EPA with PFF, PFF by itself, QBR, and raw QBR. He ranks behind a lot of quarterbacks. It blew my mind, folks. Yeah, Carr has a better EPA. Carr has a better QBR. Derek freaking Carr, man. He got paid $37 million a year. So what Baker's getting right now is pretty much where he belongs. 30 to 35, 30 to $37 million a year. Baker Mayfield is not a 45, 48, $50 million quarterback. Hell no. If the Bucks paid Baker Mayfield over $40 million a year, they're gonna screw their roster up.
He just comes up clutch big time week in and week out. And I think really for him, he's an energy guy for us. He and Kyler Williams are big energy guys. Dude, I was down when I got on the set with these. Yeah, but you know what? He's an athlete. There you go.
Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. See, this is why I don't like the Todd Bowles Baker Mayfield match. I don't like it. I don't like the Todd Bowles Baker Mayfield combination. I just don't like it. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, perfect match. I mean, golly, man, like Todd Bowles, man, he's gonna hold this team back, man. He's gonna hold this team back, folks, whether y'all like it or not. Todd had look. If Todd Bowles make the playoffs, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6, he's gonna be here. But if he misses the playoffs, man, I don't know. Do you keep Liam Cohen or you let? I wouldn't let Liam Cohen go. Yeah, Liam Cohen, he's gonna make the right. He's gonna make the proper adjustments. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it even easier for Baker Mayfield. Because remember, if Baker Mayfield misses on that first read, he gets jittery. Tonight's game against the Rams and the 49ers, it tells you how good of a coach Sean McVay is. He outcoached Kyle Shanahan.
He's doing a great job for us. He's such a competitor. Everybody sees the catches and see it with the football, but man, even without the football, what he does blocking for us in the run game, all that kind of stuff. He's a great player.
Sean McVay is that guy. Sean McVay is so bold. He got rid of Jared Goff and traded for Matthew Stafford, gave up a few first rounders, got a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford was a high interception guy until he went to the Rams. That's why I think Baker Mayfield will look a lot better with Liam Cohen as the head coach than Todd Bowles. I think he'll look so much better with the Ben Johnson, with the Liam Cohen. I just don't think he's going to be the best version of himself with Todd Bowles there, man. I just don't see it. If Baker Mayfield was with Dan Campbell, I think Baker Mayfield will be so much better. If Baker Mayfield was with Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, like if he was just with a better coach, I think Baker Mayfield floor will go higher, maybe even his ceiling. I just think that Todd Bowles is going to hold him back and the team back. I think, in my opinion, I would rather see Baker Mayfield with Liam Cohen as the head coach, not Todd Bowles. We're not going to the promised land with Todd Bowles. At least with Liam Cohen, if Liam Cohen was in control, don't you think the Bucs would go for it? The Bucs don't lose that Chief game. They win that 49ers game. I'm just saying. Maybe I might be going on a limb saying this, but
surprise, and then Cooper got behind them. So it was a nice play. What I'll say is, when somebody make a mistake, you don't miss. You do not. You scared and said, there it is. So I called it Mr. December. Yeah. Mr. December, 11-1 in the month of December back since you've been around, baby. Mr. December. What is it about end of the seasons in these big moments that you love, and it just seems you come out and play your best when you get to this time of year? Yeah, I mean, I think it's crunch time, right? This is what you love. This is what you work for, right? You work for these moments, these opportunities.
Matthew Stafford used to get a bad rep when he was with Detroit. A lot of interceptions, turnovers, sacks. He couldn't win the games. And Matthew Stafford got with Sean McVay. Change the perception, change the narrative. Geno Smith, he was a bust. Well, not a bust, but he went to the Jets. He went to the Giants. Nobody cared about him. He goes to the Seahawks, and he resurrected his career. Baker Mayfield bounced around for a little bit. Sam Darnold bounced around for a little bit.
I don't know any of the moves. He knows them all. They're telling me all this stuff that they got going on, and I'm just supporting them as best I can and happy for them. No? No. Go ahead and make something up. Love watching you play. Appreciate it. Okay. Good luck. Thank you for coming up here. We appreciate you. Enjoy the next 10 days off. Thank you very much. I'll meet you.
Wait, dig into that cake right now. It's go to break.
Oh, happy birthday. Sorry, that hurt. That hurt a little bit. He's never cut a cake before. Never cut a cake. Where's Katie? Yeah. Where's Katie? My assistant.
Andrew Whitworth can't cut a freaking cake, man.
Didn't know that you were working the cakes that are on red velvet number one. Like, what are the red velvet?
I'll just get it.
Yeah, I'm a red velvet. Yes, I'm a cheesecake too. I'm not. By the way, Cheesecake Factory might still get the discount. I work there. Look. All right, you guys. Here's a shot of McVay almost being an ACL surgery repair, but oh no, not the fall.
Great cake.
Anyway, shouts out to all the Pirates Sea Bandits. Thank you for joining. Subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, who y'all got winning this Sunday? Y'all got the Chargers or the Bucks? Who y'all got winning, the Bucks or the Chargers? What's the score prediction? Yeah, I got the Chargers winning 16-13. 16-13 sounds about right. In a low scoring game. The Chargers are very solid, man. They're hard to beat. They're not gonna be easy. The Bucks can beat them, don't get me wrong, but I'm flipping the coin, and that game is, I mean, yeah, 16-13 sounds about right. I mean, it's on the road. They got to go to San Diego. I'm sorry, they got to go to Los Angeles. 16-13, and I'm gonna say the reason why I got them barely losing to the Chargers is I think that because of Jim Harbaugh is going to make the right decision. I got the Chargers, man, 16-13 because of Jim Harbaugh. I don't trust the Bucks defense. Yeah, if it comes down to one possession game, I'm taking the better coach. The Bucks will fall to 7-7 in my opinion. The Falcons are going to beat the Raiders, I believe. They play Monday night. The Raiders, I'm gonna see. Yeah. The Falcons play the Raiders Monday night in Atlanta. So I got the Falcons beating the Raiders. The Falcons will be 7-7. The Bucks will be 7-7, in my opinion, which will put the Falcons back at the top of the division. And then the following week they play the Giants. Will put them at 8-7. The Bucks play the Cowboys, I believe. Or is it the Panthers? But let me go back and look at that. Let me see. The Bucks play.
Since he's got 30,000 foot view of the league, he's seen how mismanaged the teams are. The Jets job comes up, the Bears job comes up, the Saints.
Yeah, they got the Cowboys after the Chargers.
So due to the realization that there probably isn't the perfect situation out there for him. Meanwhile, him and people around him are studying the college game, and they see two things. Number one, he can do things his way, he gets a college job. And number two, the college game is moving a lot closer to the pro game, which is a given advantage to that level. NIL is salary cap, transfer portal is free agency. So he goes and does the 5-year deal in North Carolina. And if you're wondering if that perfect situation comes along in the next couple of years, could Bill get out? Well, here's an interesting nuance to his contract. He has a $10 million buyout in there. That buyout on June 1st drops to $1 million. So it wouldn't be very difficult for an NFL team in 2026 or 2027.
I know, and I loved his introductory press conference saying, really say one thing, go do. A full circle moment for him right there. All right, so the Steelers have that big game in Philadelphia on Sunday. George Pickens was inactive against Cleveland with the hamstring.
Yeah, Winfield Jr. is out, man. That's big blow.
This is a little bit of a weird one. It's first tightened up on him in practice on Friday. On Sunday, it's as close to 97 minutes until they call. The Steelers still thought he was going to be able to go.
Yeah, flash forward. That is correct. The 5-2-3-4. Yeah. The 5 quote unquote D linemen with the 2 outside linebackers and playing coverage. The 3 D linemen, the 2 linebackers. You know what I'm saying? And then the 3-4. It's a hybrid defense. You got 5 D linemen, well, basically 3 D linemen, 2 outside linebackers, 2 linebackers, and 4 cornerback, 2 safeties. But if he runs the 3-4, straight up 3-4, that means he's rushing the quarterback.
The issue with the coaching staff last year, worse now, more recently, A.J. Brown. The good news is Eagles coaches have had the advantages in the past with confidence.
And as Fitz pointed out, you didn't even talk to Brandon Marshall for 6-7 games.
Just play on the field.
Just play on the field. However, we appreciate it. All right, with that, we're going to take a look at the AFC North standings. Steelers, they have a 2-game lead over Baltimore. That includes the win over the Ravens. Pittsburgh's final 4 games, though, very tough. So, Fitz, break this down for everyone. Who will win the division?
I still think the Ravens are going to win this division. You just heard there that Pickens news. He's going to be out for a little bit potentially. Moving over in 11 days, they've got 3 games, and it's at Philly, at Baltimore, and then playing the Chiefs. So that's really tough for Pittsburgh. And then if you look at the Ravens, they're coming off a bye. They needed it. They need to get healthy. They need to breathe a little bit, relax. And it just doesn't seem like as long as they can get.
Yeah, Herbert is good against the blitz. Yep, I know.
It seems like they've got the easier setup with the schedule. The interesting thing is if the Ravens end up beating the Steelers, and then you go through the tiebreaker scenarios. For me, it's head-to-head. It's win-loss percentage in the division, common games within a conference. They all are the same, or potentially could be the same. So they think that fifth tiebreaker, which is great.
Yeah, the Chargers are not.
In that scenario, but I do think the Ravens are going to win the AFC.
5 of their losses have been by.
It's on the road. Road games are tough.
Close games. It'll be interesting that division, just as we talked about all game long. This battle in the NFC West. All right, Tony, I want to talk to you real quickly about Buffalo's defense. Obviously, giving up 42 points last week.
Yeah, 16-13. Chargers squeaked this victory out.
Yes.
It's okay.
They're a good football team, obviously. But I think when you look at
I still got the Bucks going to the playoffs though, winning the division.
And you guys,
Anyway, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on this channel. With that being said, fire those cannons, seize the day, raise the flag. Hashtag tighten up. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag reality of optimism. Probability over possibility.
There's only 2 teams in history that have won a Super Bowl without a Pro Bowl player. It happened in
Don't get mad at me. Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't make these stats. I don't talk. Don't get mad. I don't play the game either. I just talk about it. Hashtag why? Hashtag what are we doing? Hashtag what is this? Hashtag oh you negative. It is what it is, folks. Sunday. Bus got to tighten up, man. Hashtag consistency. Hashtag we on smack now. Playoffs. Game time, folks. I'll see y'all Sunday. Signing out. Enjoy the rest of your night.